All right, we made it. Look at us. We thought we were going to be really late today, but we're not. We're just 2 or 3 minutes late. And honestly, we were here on time. I just had to wolf down some dinner because I failed to eat tonight. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's Pugs and Company for a Monday evening. And I know it's Monday because I'm watching Monday Night Football out of the corner of my eye. It's the Pillow Talk edition. That's the second of two shows that we do each and every day. We do one at noon to 2. We call that High Noon with Pugs and Company. And then we come back at 10 o'clock. Oh, boy. I wolfed down McDonald's really quickly because didn't have time to eat today. Yeah, a lot of stuff going on. We do this twice. We do the Pillow Talk now. A little bit light, a little bit fun. What's going on here? I just pulled this out of a hamper. What's this? What's going on there? What's going on there? I don't know. It's going to bother me, though. Pillow Talk now, 10 to 2. And then we do High Noon to 2. Let's bring in my cohorts, my compadres, my mi amigos. We got Sunglasses, and we got Parker. What's happening, boys?
Hey.
Yeah, I'm great. It's just you're going to confuse people if you call him Sunglasses. At least call him Emil once first. I think his name really is Sunglasses.
My name in the chat room has been Sunglasses for the last few nights.
So, we play to the crowd. We're playing he is, of course, Uncle E the artist, Emil, Sunglasses, whatever you want to call it.
Good enough.
I try to change my glasses up nightly.
Yeah? Do you have that many pairs of sunglasses?
Well, I think I've got, I think I could do a month.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Good evening, Steve. Steve's popping in. Another Steve. We are number one with Steves.
Yes, we are.
Parker, I was a little bit worried. I don't like to take you for granted, because, you ain't nobody getting paid for this. We're just barely chugging along here, but we're doing it out of love of the game, I believe they call it. That's what they say when people do this stuff for love of the game. But I wasn't sure you were going to be with us today, so I'm glad you are.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, you interrupted the latest episode of Outlander. That's what we're going through on Netflix.
Is Outlander any good?
Well, I have the trifecta on what I look for in a movie or TV show.
Okay, give it to me.
It's female nudity.
Okay, got it.
Decapitation.
Okay, a lot of that. A lot of sword play.
Midgets.
The dwarves, you 1970s era piece of shit.
You don't know what you're saying because dwarves and midgets are two different things.
Oh, are they? Yes. One is a derogatory term and one is a more
no. Look,
little people,
a little person. The dwarves is the one that have like the bad proportions. The midgets are just people in the same proportion. They're just smaller, and it's a different illness and it's a different hormonal imbalance.
There is no illness called midgetis. That's not an actual illness. That's a slang term that was applied. But you are telling me that there are a multitude of maladies that may cause someone to be under what 4 or 5. What is the line? What is the
4,
line
9.
for 4'9"?
Mm-hmm.
My God, I mean I've 4'9". I mean, I've dated girls that were like 5'1", 5'2".
That's totally fine. That's cool. Yeah. Look, my grandmother was 5'2". My grandfather was 5'3". So
yeah. All right. Shortest girl you ever dated, Emil? You 5'11", nothing but models. That's all. Just nothing. Shortest woman you ever dated. Sunglasses. Give it to me. As an adult, not as like an 8th grader. That doesn't count.
I would maybe say 5'4".
5'4"?
5'5", yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty tall. I've gone small. I've gone 5'1", 5'2". Yeah, sometimes. Hey, beggars can't be choosers, I guess. Speaking of that, Emil and I, Uncle E, Sunglasses, E the artist, whatever you're comfortable calling him, we were just at another one of my kids' football games today at another one of these ridiculous Texas stadiums where 8th graders play in essentially stadiums that could host bowl games if they wanted to.
The Roman Coliseum, right?
Really beautiful stadium. I can report that things went much better than last week. And we'll leave it at that.
Much better in terms of less points scored.
against them.
against
Yes.
them.
But we met a superstar today. We witnessed the emergence of a North Texas football superstar, did we not, E? Who was the star of this damn game?
The female kicker for the opposing team.
Maddie. Maddie had us screaming her name at the end of the game. This girl, first of all, sixth, seventh, and eighth graders. It's the middle school, playing against each other. Sixth, seventh, and eighth graders. They can barely pass the ball. This girl is booting like 45-yard kickoffs, and she's just nailing the uprights on every extra point. She was like, "Whoa, my God!"
And she looked like she was not trying her hardest on a couple of the kicks that she caught like 45 yards in the air with the ball.
I mean,
for seventh grade, I mean, I'd be hard pressed to hit it probably 30 yards.
In my prime. I mean, now I couldn't even approach it without tearing my hamstring, but like in my prime, as a 17, 18-year-old growing young boy who played football for 12 years before that, right? Couldn't come anywhere near kicking it as good as she kicked it. This girl was booting these kickoffs, man. They were just going, they were high. They were going, I mean, I was so impressed. And then nobody kicks extra points at that level. They all run it for the extra points. And that's why when you kick it, it's worth 2, but when you run it, it's only worth 1. Because at that level, it's far easier to just run it in for the extra point than it is to kick it. This girl came out there, boop, 2 points, boop, 2 points, boop, 2 points, boop, 2 points. She was just nailing. Even the ugliest one was right down the middle. It was just a line drive. This girl was, wow.
And she had thrown the scoreboard operator for a loop because he was adding 7 plus 7 is 14. And then when it got to 14, the refs saw her kick the second extra point, and they're like, whoa, you need to put 16 on the board, not 14. And then the fans were getting upset because they thought somehow they were getting hometowned because the refs were giving her extra points, to the point where we had to point out to a lady in the stands, no, look, I know it looks weird, but in this type of football, when you kick the 2 points or kick, you get 2 points versus when you run for 1 point. So, yeah, it was interesting for sure.
She was such a rarity, not for being a girl. That's a whole other thing, that she kicked extra points. Such a rarity in this league that the scorekeeper didn't know how many points it was if you kicked it. He was getting it wrong, and the score was wrong. And they finally fixed it. Man, Maddie. And then, we're like, what's she gonna look? What is it? Is this gonna be like, she's raised by a dad around nothing but boys and all this stuff? Dude, she took off her helmet. It's probably the prettiest girl in her school. She's super tall, super thin, long blonde hair. I mean, it's like, oh my, she was like taller than most of the boys. So, she definitely looked like the kind of girl that you'd go, oh yeah, she could be a fashion model in 5 years. Or actually, fashion models are so creepy, they'd probably make her one now. But you know what I mean? I mean, she just had the whole, boy, oh boy, was I impressed by old Maddie, to the point where I remember her name.
Happiest thing was that we met her mom, and her mom was, you could tell her mom was really sheepishly shy about how good her daughter was, and the fact that and we were like, wow, she made fans on the opposing team.
Yeah.
We were rooting for when she would kick off. But
I mean, literally, she'd boot. We were for the other team, and she would boot it, and we'd be like, whoa, yeah, holy cow.
And it started out because I was like, is that a girl that's kicking off? And then it was like, I don't care if she's a girl or not. She's kicking longer than any kid that I've seen in the 2 weeks that I've been watching these games.
As good as the best high school kicker I've seen, or at least, at that level. And then, my son's mom, after the game, they were all walking off the field, and I went down to talk to my son's mom. Well, I mean, we were sitting with him, but she had gone down to the field to see the boy, and I had gone down closer to the field to see the boy as well. And my son's mom began talking to this woman who was sitting there. And at some point, somebody said, I think she said, boy, but that girl on that other team is really good. And the woman goes, yeah, that's my daughter. And then I was like, whoa, that's your daughter. I was like, she is awesome. Like, and I called Emil down. I'm like, Emil, this is Maddie's mom. We're like total Maddie heads. We're like totally, and we're from the other team. It was really impressive.
Wait, now how do you know her name? Is there like a loudspeaker guy?
No,
oh yeah, they have a guy with a speaker.
Yeah, but they didn't. No,
they did. They
didn't announce the play. No, it was other people in the
now
crowd.
Coming up to kick is number 4, Maddie Tyler or whatever.
No, it was other people in the stand. Every time she kicked it, they'd go, "That's it, Maddie!" You know, people were yelling. So we were like, "Oh!"
But they have a guy up in the score box, and he did have a microphone, and he said, "Kids, this is the time of game where you make sure that you're calling your parents to come pick you up."
Yeah, that was a woman, and that was obviously a recording. The guy in this, remember the ref was on the field going, we need 31 seconds. The ref was doing all that stuff. And whenever there'd be a penalty, it was the ref.
A good score, a nice scoreboard too.
Yeah, they did. It was, I'm telling you, man, North Texas, I guess Texas in general, you take you take your middle school football real serious down here. It was the 2 stadiums in a row. I mean, they played at the loser stadium last week because it was a complex where there was like a massive stadium. And then there was like 3 other stadiums around, smaller ones, you know, like for where the I guess freshman teams would play or whatever. And that was really nice last week. I thought that was cool. But then this week they were playing in the big freaking Cotton Bowl type looking thing. It's insane. And these were kids in 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. I've never seen anything like it. We used to play on a field that was half baseball fields. And half the field was dirt.
Hell, the Raiders played on a baseball field up until a few years ago.
They did at Oakland Stadium. Yeah, Oakland Alameda Stadium. That when the second base was like right in the middle of the 50-yard line. It was like a pitcher's mound there at the 20.
I know.
Yeah, we noticed there's a dirt track across about a third of your field. Yeah, that's weird, y'all.
So, James, I have a question for you. Looking at your set, are those lassos in the back right? The ropes? Yeah.
No, those are cords.
These are audio cables.
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. I thought you were going with the whole Western motif with the wheel up there and the barn.
Well, look, when you go to Guitar Center and you buy some new guitar cables, they have the vintage ones, and you're like, all right, that's cool. For $4 more, I can have a guitar instead of just having a plain black cable. You can have one that's kind of cool. But you know, right. And then when I was putting this together, it just dawned on me, like, wait a second, these look like ropes, and I could just hang them here, and it would fit in with the motif, but do the same crossover thing. That this isn't a barn as much as it is a radio studio or a broadcasting booth or a recording studio or something. It's more audio related than horse related.
It looks like a barn. You got a whole barn thing going on.
You got the reclaimed wood. I wouldn't necessarily say that's a barn, but
yeah. And so this clock over here, this is a steampunk kind of design. And then
okay.
Yeah, and I've got some wicked old light bulbs.
So what you're telling me is you're doing a Kevin Kline, Will Smith, Wild Wild West, steampunk, Old West mashup kind of deal.
Yeah.
Was that reference lost on you? Do you not remember Wild Wild West with Kevin Kline and Salma Hayek and Will Smith?
I remember they redid it. I didn't sit down and watch the movie, but I'm aware there was an old one and they remade it. And I saw.
Can I tell you how impressed I am that you knew there was an old one? I figured you would only know the new one.
Well, the bar set pretty low.
Well, now that I've been invited back, I feel like I've got the lacking background. Tomorrow I think I'm gonna do a little bit of a flip.
You should open that window. What's it look like out the window?
No, Ed didn't like the window open because it was reflecting glare.
Oh, good.
So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn around, and I got the TV here, and I think I'm going to put an ambient kind of a scene on the TV. I'm going to work on my back set.
Because if you actually show the TV, then we'll get in trouble for everything that airs on that TV that's picked up by our camera. They'll think that we're rebroadcasting. So yeah,
but I can pick a background. They have ambient backgrounds. I think that's what I'm going to do.
Well, let me ask you though, if you open that window, could people see the people who invented cotton that live across the street?
You know, that's a good question.
What does that even mean?
You should see the house across the street.
It looks like a big plantation.
It ain't
sure.
just it ain't just old money. It ain't just people who own slaves. These people invented cotton. This house is incredible. I've been on Zillow. Because you can take the tour of the house on Zillow. You can look at the inside, and whoever that guy is, Emil, have you ever done that for that house? Put that address in. Okay, we'll do it. Put that address in because that's somebody
like Howard Hughes. Are they keeping their pee in jars and stuff?
I don't know, but they have a room with 20 gold records on the wall, and I don't know what that's about. I don't know if he's a producer, if he owns a record company, or whatever.
I'm impressed.
Yeah, I know the last name. Now that you said he's got gold records, I'm gonna have to look him up.
Yeah, and just look at the Zillow. Look at the room. I mean, he may just be an investor in a record company, or he may have backed a management firm or something. But they've got a room that is filled with gold records, and I'm like, holy cow! That's where that money comes from. It comes from something, and they're an old couple, aren't they? I thought I saw.
Yeah, he's definitely older for sure.
God, that house is just amazing. That's why if you'd open that up and people could see it, the way it's all lit up with the flags going, it's like this ridiculous.
Yeah, we're slumming over here.
And we won't give you the address to look it up on Zillow because then, you'll know our location. And this is a secret. We are hiding out here in the 1%er neighborhood. We're squatting. Well, actually, Emil's not. He actually owns it. So, but I'm squatting. I'm definitely squatting. I'm definitely in here.
Well, you're yeah. I mean, this is your joint. Just mine.
Well, I appreciate that attitude because I have no plans of leaving. This is
whose name's on the title?
This is a sweet setup. I have no intention of leaving here anytime soon. This is
I need to work on my background. Like your background's looking good. James's background's looking good. Mine looks like
WendyMurrayArt.com, providing the fine artwork.
His background is not looking good. You can't just put up 3 tiny little pieces of art across your institutional white background and have it not look like, I don't know, it looks like you're in a classroom.
Well, he had specific ways between Ed.
I had no input. No, don't even put. I had no input. Everything that I suggested got screamed back at me. No, so I sat in this chair while you framed the pictures, and every time I said it should be a little bit that way, I got screamed at. So I shut my mouth. I had absolutely no input in that. I happen to love that artwork. Maybe a little bit more. Maybe something bigger.
I got more. We could bring more over.
Yeah, let's do more.
Because I'm looking at it right now. My says that the middle painting, I think I want to move it like 2-3 inches to the right.
You better clear that with Ed.
Yeah, I know. But I think maybe the reason that didn't happen was because of the glare that comes off of the light. I can't remember all the issues we were having when we were hanging them, but yeah. And then I don't know. Am I going to have the same problem with the TV? Maybe the TV is going to be giving glare.
I don't know. I like your chair though. That's a cool chair you got. What's up with this?
Is that a gamer chair?
Yeah. It is a gamer chair.
You're not a gamer.
I have one in blue and I have one in red. The Dominator has the red one. I got the blue one.
All right.
Remember what was it last summer? You and I were talking about doing a dad's and son gaming show.
Yeah.
Remember we were talking about doing that podcast?
Yeah.
So I went out and I bought these chairs specifically for that.
Okay, we mentioned it once and you went out and spent $5,000 on chairs.
No, these chairs are not that expensive at all.
I bought a gamer chair. They're expensive.
Dom broke the base on this one. Mm-hmm. And I had to go to Amazon to get a new one. And the company's already out of business, or they changed to a different form. So, yeah. Anyway. But I like the gamer chair. It's got some leg rest.
The small talk was
breaking in the Gabby Petito.
Well, yeah, we'll get into all of that. We got a whole bunch of stuff that we can get to today. I want to show some videos. Unfortunately, I tried to prepare everything before we left for the game at like 6:30 or something. So I haven't even looked. I sat down, I wolfed down my food, and then I looked, I could actually start on time instead of, 10 after or 15 after. So I went, I'm not ready. I poured my drink. I pulled this out of the dirty laundry. I don't know what the hell's going on with it. There's like a stain on it. But that's
dirty laundry? Did you say dirty laundry?
I did. Oh, and by the way, score one for the good guys. We got challenged on something that we played by Disney, and we beat them. So, every time we play something, we get challenged.
Copyright infringement victory for the show.
Yeah, take that, Disney.
Yeah, very good. All right, so yeah, let's start out with the thing we got a bunch of stuff. Here's what we're going to do. I got a bunch of video segments I want to do today. I've been compiling these. We just always run out of time, and I think that they are funny because I want to talk about them. We're going to talk about this Rowlett restaurant. I want to talk a little bit about the Emmys and the shows that you people are not watching or should be watching or are watching, and I should be watching, whatever. By the way, when we did the last TV segment, it was back when I was doing the show all by myself. A bunch of people suggested that I watch two shows. Two shows that I didn't watch were suggested most often, and that was Dave and that was Yellowstone. And I have ripped through both. I haven't finished Yellowstone, but Dave is hysterical. James, you probably know Dave. I imagine he's a guy after your own heart.
I have not seen Dave.
You have not seen.
I've also been told I need to see Dave, and some people I hold in high esteem have said I would like it.
Dave blew my mind. And when I told my kid, my 12-year-old kid, that I was watching Dave, he thought I was so cool. He was like, "No way, you know Dave, Little Dicky?" And I go, "Yeah, I know. I get the reference now. I know Little Dicky is a rapper."
I know Little Dicky.
Yeah, Little Dicky is a very funny rapper, very talented, has a rap career, all that stuff going. He was on the Emmys last night, and his real name is Dave, and this is a sitcom, I guess. I don't know. It's a 30-minute what life is like being Dave before he became a famous rapper. It's Dave as a white nerdy. I mean, he's really nerdy, like a super nerdy guy,
like Jesse Eisenberg nerdy.
Yes, Michael Cera nerdy.
Yeah, it makes you feel uncomfortable just being in the room with him.
Yeah,
like,
real awkward.
Okay, yeah,
like the whitest kid you've ever met. I mean, just awkward and really polite, and calls people sir and ma'am, and dresses in like weird white kid cardigans and stuff like that. But then when he raps, he's hysterical and he's really good. And the series is about him trying to be taken seriously as a rapper and the rise of his career. And it's filled with other hip hop stars that are always making apparently this guy is beloved. People love this guy in the hip hop community. And they made this little 30-minute per episode show, and it's called Dave, and it is incredible. So everybody who told me that I needed to watch Dave, you were right. It's really funny. I really love that guy. He to me strikes me of a talent, the level of Donald Glover. I put him in that category. Donald Glover, who I think is probably the most talented person performing out there, whether he's doing his stand-up comedy, whether he's doing his comedy acting, whether he's doing his dramatic acting, or whether he's Childish Gambino, his hip-hop alter ego. I mean, talk about a guy that is just... Talk about having, revenue streams. Donald Glover has some freaking revenue streams coming in. And on top of that, Community is now in syndication. So he's got permanent revenue stream coming in from Community. He's got permanent revenue stream coming in from the Childish Gambino hits. He's just incredible. But Dave, I put in that category, like, what can't this guy do? He's funny. He's really good at rapping. He's terrific at writing. So thank you for that. Dave is... What is Dave on? Is it on Amazon Prime? People are asking now in the chat room. Somebody else in the chat room, help him out. I'm doing a show here. I'd love.
All right, we can help him out. Somebody will look that up. I want to help out Albert. Yes, we did see the Gabby Petito body cam footage, and yes, she did say that she had OCD. And part of the reason they were in the argument was because Brian had dirty feet. And he had moved around some of her food in the back of the van, and she had gotten upset about that. So
he wasn't going to change. He told the cops.
Dave is on FXX.
It's on Hulu, yes, but it's also available on Hulu. That's where I watched it. Brady says Hulu.
Shout out to Jackie. Good to see you in the chat room. It's been a while.
Yeah. Oh, and Jackie, that's it. The other one, Yellowstone, which was another one that everyone
people told me to watch that.
What's that?
1,000 people have told me to watch Yellowstone.
Is pretty good. If you can get through, muscle through the first 3 episodes, which are nothing but exposition, here's the backstory on why you should pay attention to these characters. When it actually gets into the story, it's really good. Kevin Costner is great. It's like, why is Kevin Costner doing TV? Because this is probably the best scripts he's read in a long time. It's really good. It's basically Kevin Costner plays a guy who owns and operates the largest ranch in America. So he's like a super rich guy, and he owns like half the state of Montana or Wyoming, where the hell it is. I'm not even sure.
One of those Gabby places.
But it's about his family of these ranchers, and he's got screwed up rich kids, that he's dealing with, and then you got the land developers who are constantly trying to build condos and all that stuff around his land, and he's fighting that, and there's drama and there's mystery and there's murders, and
all right,
it's very good.
Now look over here. Brady says, I'm looking forward to another season of Barry. I've been told I need to watch that, and I've been told I need to watch Ted Lasso.
How have you not seen Barry? I mean, Ted Lasso I get because that's just turning hot really right now, but how have you not seen Barry? Barry's like the best thing HBO has done in, I was going to say in years, but HBO pretty consistently puts out good stuff. But Barry is one of the best things on HBO.
You're not the first person to tell me that. I'll get around to it. I will.
Yeah, you've got to. I would have expected that you would be like totally into Barry.
Well, I'm glad I can keep you on your toes like that.
Yeah.
I'm actually proud of myself. This show has got me watching 2 series: Dr. Death, which is a limited.
Okay, it's not. That's
well,
like
but for me, I don't do this at all.
Yeah.
And then I started watching one with Martin Short and Steve Martin.
Only Murders in the Building.
Only Murders in the Building. And I started watching that one, and I like that one.
Is it good?
So far,
no.
I've watched I think 3 episodes.
Yeah.
So far, it's pretty cool.
I've not watched any of those episodes. I looked at that show and I went, okay, I'm going to need to binge that. So I'm going to wait for the whole series to be full. So I think I got a couple more weeks. I think they're probably at like episode 5 or 6 now. And then I'll just rip through the whole series anyway. But yeah, I'm hearing really good things about that too. That's supposed to be really good. I was
talking to a dad at football, and he said he started watching Ted Lasso and that I should watch it. I think it was really funny.
Well,
and then last night you were like, rah, and you're the greatest TV picker ever because of the way that they ran the table, evidently, with the Emmys.
Yeah. I told you months ago when I first got here that you need to
but I don't listen to you. Like, you tell me the Bears are good.
Okay, a little different. I'm talking about entertainment options.
How are the Bears doing? They doing okay?
You thought Jay Cutler was like a good quarterback for years, and I had to convince him that was not the case.
You said that?
Admit it. He won't.
He was my quarterback. I'm not a bitch. I don't turn on the people who are my quarterbacks. He was my quarterback. I also owned a Rex Grossman jersey. I'm a Chicago Bear fan. It's not like we've had a whole lot of options there at quarterback. Yeah, I also had a McMahon jersey. But you know what you can't get? The greatest Bear quarterback of all time, who retired in 1950, Sid Luckman. That's how long ago it's been since the Bears have had a franchise quarterback. So yeah, I was on Team Jay Cutler because I'm a Bears fan and I'm loyal. And he was fine.
Oh, dude, as far as that quarterback carousel goes, the people here in New Orleans are freaking out.
Well, you were spoiled for a bunch of years with Drew Brees.
Oh, they were spoiled for 1 week with Jameis Winston, like 5 touchdown passes, and then he looked like old Jameis.
Right. So they had nothing. They had the quarterback carousel the entirety of the franchise from like 1967 until Drew Brees showed up. Bobby Hebert had like a nice little 4-season stint or whatever. But other than that, it's been like the Cleveland Browns where they're just cycling through quarterbacks. Had Drew Brees for 15 years. And now it's just dawning on everyone. We're back to the pre-Drew Brees crap that is the quarterback rotation.
Can I just call timeout and double back to Sunglasses for a moment and his Bills Mafia? Hey, Sunglasses, why don't you rattle off the 10 previous quarterbacks before Josh Allen that the Buffalo Bills suffered through? Come on, Mr. Stud. It's been
I don't need to rattle them off. I could probably go into my closet and pull out a few jerseys.
Tyrod Taylor.
Tyrod's not bad. He played well yesterday in Houston until he got hurt.
Try and name another one. You can't. And there's been like 20 of them because they're all
EJ Manuel.
Oh, yeah. EJ Manuel. That was another good one. Yeah. All right. So shut your mouth about Jay Cutler. Keep Jay Cutler's mouth out of you. Keep Jay Cutler's name out of your mouth. That was it.
All right.
So smooth.
Okay. Yeah, let's run through some of these. Looking forward to another season of Brady. Yeah, Barry. Yeah, that's right, Brady. Barry is great. Emil, you would like Barry. Barry is the story of Bill Hader, who is a genius. Oh my God, is Bill? I mean, James, right? Is Bill Hader a genius or not?
He's probably the second best person to ever be on Saturday Night Live.
He's up there. He is absolutely up there. He is he's in my top 5 of the greatest Saturday Night Live.
The best person to ever be on Saturday Night Live is Kate McKinnon.
Bill Murray, but okay. It's Bill Murray. And anyone who says anything different is wrong. Bill Murray followed by Eddie Murphy, and then we can get into some conversations.
How many accents can Bill Murray do?
How many? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. That dude was just stepped on stage and smirked.
English accents.
No,
I think I am on the Kate McKinnon train.
She's terrific.
In terms of like she can do anything. Like her range of characters and her spontaneity while she's doing those characters. It seems great. Like to me that the lines aren't written, that she, like a lot of times she's just ad-libbing.
She's very funny. She's the 3rd funniest female on the show in the last decade. She's very funny.
See, that's a backhanded compliment. That's
that's an
insult package.
The 2 that are better than her are Kristen Wiig and Amy Poehler, and then you can bring in Kate McKinnon. But Kristen Wiig is the funniest female in the history of Saturday Night Live, and Amy Poehler is also brilliant. And then Kate McKinnon. Yeah, let's see what else Kate McKinnon can do. She's been there, I like her Giuliani. That's very funny. Sometimes I think she's a little too look, you're not going to get me to badmouth Kate McKinnon. I like Kate McKinnon. I do. But since you've dragged me here, the greatest of all time on Saturday Night Live is Bill Murray. The 2nd greatest is Eddie Murphy. The 3rd greatest is John Belushi. Then we get into Jason Sudeikis is up there. Bill Hader is up there. They had a run the last couple of years of really talented guys. So yeah, that would probably be my top 5 right there. It would be Murray, Murphy, Belushi, Hader, and Sudeikis. Those are my favorite ones of the guys, because honestly, I would put Kristen Wiig in there. I would move her up into the top 5. I would get rid of probably Sudeikis.
Kate McKinnon has more range than all of those people. How many accents can Bill Murray do? He can do like
range. Bill Murray was just flat out funny. That dude could just step into a scene and not say a word, and you'd be laughing because
right. Because he was Bill Murray in almost every scene. And
no, there was a time before he was Bill Murray. Yes, now in 2021, he's Bill Murray. He's an icon. But in 1978, when he was replacing Chevy Chase, he wasn't anything, and he won the entire nation over.
Fair enough, but it's sort of the Leslie Jones thing, where Leslie Jones is kind of Leslie Jones in every skit. She doesn't have a whole lot of range.
I do not get Leslie Jones. I don't get the humor there. It just
evidently Saturday Night Live doesn't either. She's gone.
Yeah, but she left on her own. She started a movie career. She's like, she went to do Ghostbusters and all of that. Yeah, let her go. You know who is? I mean, if you do Pugs, you still like because she's a black woman. No. Because that Wodum girl, the black
Ego Wodum.
Ego Wodum is awesome. She's funny. Her Twitter, you follow her on Twitter. She's so good on Twitter. She's really funny.
I'm agreeing with the chat room here. What about like Dana Carvey and Chris Farley?
Yeah, Chris Farley. Chris Farley was funny, but not tremendous in Saturday Night Live. He was funny, but he was fatty fall down. It was a lot of lowest common denominator humor, but he was very funny. He might be in my top 15. Hartman. That's who we forgot. Phil Hartman. I'm sorry. Yeah. Phil Hartman goes in the top 5. Talk about range. Phil Hartman was brilliant. You too young for Phil Hartman, James?
I'm not too young for Phil Hartman, but here's where Phil Hartman falls short. What are his accents? He can do like the game show guy, or he can do like the news guy. But like, was he ever? Because Kate McKinnon is Angela Merkel.
Well, you put way too much emphasis on who's able to do. In that case, then I guess Daryl Hammond is the greatest of all time, because nobody can do voices like Daryl Hammond. I don't. That's good.
I would say Daryl Hammond's way underrated as far as Saturday Night Live characters go.
Well, I think he's perfect. I think he's right where he needs to be. He's good. He's Gilda Radner. We don't talk about Gilda Radner enough. She was brilliant. She was fantastic.
Rosanna,
Dana, Lisa Lubner. Come on, Bill Murray and Gilda Radner as the Lubners. Come on, nobody said noogies before them. It was, everybody, they changed the American popular culture. Plumber's butt.
I think
remember that scene. Remember Plumber's butt? That came from Lisa Lubner and Bill Murray. The plumber came in, Dan Aykroyd, with his pants all the way down around his ankle, bent over to fix the refrigerator. And
all right, hey, can we review some of these videos?
Not yet. We got to get into something. You're right. We're doing a lot of because I'm not prepared. So
we're just chasing rabbits, is what we're doing.
Yeah, I'm just look at you using programming terms. That's all we do. That's all we do.
I felt like I just got into the program director's office.
That's what it sounds like.
He is right. Okay,
focus.
Let's get into the latest in the Gabby situation. Here, let me pull these up. All right, so we did have a couple of breaking news here in the Gabby Petito story. I'm forcing myself to say it properly instead of calling. Do you know that I tried to Google latest Gabby Petito? Actually, I was looking for the 911 call. Gabby, so I'm searching Gabby Petito 911 call. And it kept showing no results. I'm like, what the hell? So I do it again. No results. Do it again. Then I look at it. Yeah, there's no such person as Gabby Petito. I was actually writing Gabby Petito. That's how messed up I am.
Figured Google would have figured that out by now.
Right.
Okay, so here's the deal. Coroner's going to have his little statement tomorrow. The coroner's already being attacked. Have you seen any of this going around? Apparently, the coroner...
Have not seen the coroner being attacked. What the heck?
Oh, my God.
What did that
apparently,
even do?
5 years ago, the coroner said something like, the rapture's coming. I don't know, something crazy. Something
that's not a dinosaur or like fast twitch muscles. What was it?
I don't know. It was something that I went, well, he is a coroner in the middle of Wyoming or Utah, I mean, it's not like he's working in a big hospital for a big county. And they probably don't have a lot of choices when it comes to coroner in that part of the country. They're just like...
How can you attack him before he even comes out with his results?
Oh, Twitter will find a way.
Yeah.
The most miserable losers are on Twitter, and they just love crapping on everything.
Not all of us. I happen to enjoy
No, not everyone, but the most miserable losers are on Twitter love crapping on everything. I didn't say you were one of them.
So it is a big day tomorrow. Coroner's going to give a report. Brian's parents and his attorney is going to have a press conference. So those are two things that we're waiting for.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about that. So today, here's what we had. We had the FBI going to Brian Laundrie's sister's house. Not sure if they had warrants or anything like that, but they went there for a reason. There was a guy on TikTok, some older Southern gentleman walking through the woods, talking into his phone, going, "They found Brian's body."
Can you play that?
I'm an old man on TikTok. That's so weird.
Again. Yeah. Oh, you know what? Maybe I could find it, but we'll work into that. I'll play that.
Southern man on TikTok. That is weird.
I know, right? I mean, this guy was probably 65, 70 years old, gray beard, walking through the woods, talking about how, they found his body.
I sure do love Werther's Originals and TikTok.
Right. And that's why I thought it was weird. And it didn't really get passed around, but whatever. So all day long, we had these Brian sightings here. This one comes from St. Petersburg, Florida. Let's look at this one. Look at this guy. All right, here, I'll pull this up. This is somebody who said they saw Brian. There's Brian. Let's see him walking. So this was one of them. This is in St. Pete's, Florida. We'll give you guys a look at this guy. Okay. There it is. All right. So anybody that matches the description who's walking down the road. Not big enough, huh? Let me see if I can make it a little bigger for you boys. There we go. A little bit bigger. All right. So they're saying, this is Brian. We saw Brian. It's just a bald guy, Here's another one. Boom. That's closer. Can you see that one? That one,
I can see that one.
I mean, it matches we can't see the face. You know how many guys have shaved heads? I have a shaved head, I'm not thin.
1 out of 5 guys
got shoes on.
Y'all realize that, right? It's like almost 25% of men are bald. Grown men are bald.
Yeah, and most of us just shave our heads now instead of going with that toilet bowl.
Incredibly common. Incredibly common.
But, he's a young guy. We know that Brian likes to walk places, so I don't know, right? I don't know.
Well, he's wearing shoes.
He
right?
is. Okay. It's raining. He's wearing shoes in the rain. Okay. And then
seems like he'd be in too much of a area where he'd be spotted. I'm doubting that's Brian.
Yeah, this is even bogus so far.
All right, so we're learning right now. My buddy Kevin in the chat room is saying that the press conference has been canceled by the lawyer for tomorrow. Yeah, I can't click on. Kevin, send DM me with that if you could, and then just.
Well, that would make sense given the fact that they took the mom and dad out of the house today and set them in the FBI van.
Yeah, they raided the house, but they're back in the house, and the FBI left about 3:30.
Would you go back in the house? Like, I would think everything that's going on in my house after the FBI had been in it with like 15 agents is being recorded. There's secret cameras everywhere. It's
don't matter, man. Brian is in Mexico now. That's why they even called the cops, is because he already gave them the safe signal. So,
well, wait till you see this Twitter video that Pugs has got.
Which one are you talking about?
The one with the old guy.
Oh yeah, I got to see if I can find that. Okay, so I wanted to play this because the 911 call was released today. You played a little bit of it, but we didn't really get a chance to hear it. And there were some major details in this 911 call. This is the 911 call that occurred. There was an altercation between Brian and Gabby in front of the Moonflower Co-op there in Moab, Utah. And the police chased him down, pulled him over on the side of the road, and then it was presented as Gabby was the aggressor. And Gabby was the one who, in the police, their estimation, looking at the clues, and, he had scratches on his face, Brian did, Gabby was the aggressor. Gabby was the one who was in trouble during this police investigation. But now, today, we get the 911 call, and the 911 call, well, clearly states the Chris who called said he's beating her. The police dispatcher was told that this was Brian beating her. But then when the police showed up, it turned into, well, you're the aggressor. Right? I mean, I don't have that wrong, right? I mean, I'm not talking about the.
I haven't heard the 911 call, but why didn't we know this 2 days ago?
Because the 911 call hadn't been released until this morning.
Today.
Now, but we were all operating on the assumption that the call was made because Brian was getting beat on, and that's how the police reacted. So let's listen to this 911. This changes everything. Let's listen to the 911 call here. I'll see if I can pull it up for you. Let's do this here. All right. Is that it? No. Okay, give me a second here. I'm sorry. I'm trying to do 100 things. Well, you know how it is. Difficult.
Yeah, but this absolutely changes.
Yes.
I don't want to say everything, but it changes a lot, where we were kind of giving some weight to the fact that in the body cam, the cop videos, that Brian looked like the sane one and Gabby looked like the crazy one, but he really was just flipping the switch and putting on an act for the cops, is what this means.
Yeah.
So he really was a sociopathic guy just on the cusp of murder.
But here's the bigger problem. These cops were not told what was happening. These cops investigated. Did they not listen? Or did the dispatcher not relay the report properly? Because it clearly says he's slapping her, he's hitting her.
But she didn't have any physical signs of abuse on her, and she got out of the car crying and had every opportunity to dump him in the grease. And matter of fact, she didn't. She said that she was the one that was treating him poorly, and that, she had things going on with her OCD. So although I get the 911 call kind of throwing him under the bus,
right,
it didn't seem like that, because he had scratches on his face, he had scratches on his hands, he had scratches on his arm.
Let's listen to it, and let's just see if this was a complete screw up by the Grand County Sheriff's Office. Here we go.
Grand County Sheriff's Office.
Were you able to get a description of the intoxication?
Hi, can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hi, I'm calling. I'm right on the corner of Main Street by Moonflower and We're driving by, and I'd like to report a domestic dispute. Florida with the white van, Florida license plate, white land, gentleman,
Where's it at?
5'6", beard. They just drove off. They're going down Main Street. They made a right onto Main Street from Moonflower.
Or what were they doing?
Cooperative, but what do you say?
What were they doing?
We drove by, and the gentleman was slapping the girl.
He was slapping her?
Yes, and then we stopped. They ran up and down the sidewalk. He proceeded to hit her, hopped in the car, and they drove off.
Okay, you said it's a white van?
White van. I can give you the license plate if you give me 1 sec. I took a picture of it.
What kind of white van? Like a big one?
It was a
What are you wearing?
The old big
license
one.
Plate of, it was white, Florida license plate QFT G03. The make was a Ford, model was Transit, black ladder on the passenger side.
Black ladder, passenger side.
White Ford Transit.
White Ford Transit. Okay, what's your name? And where did they, so they headed south on Main Street from Moonflower Market?
Correct, they made the right turn.
Oh, so they went north.
North. Yeah, sorry, I'm not from around here.
Okay, you're right there by the post office?
Right across the street, yep.
Okay, and when they turned onto Main Street, they went...
Boy, that is small town. Isn't that Mayberry? the dispatcher knows exactly where he is. Oh, yeah, you're over there by the post office.
Right or left?
You're over there by Jeff.
Right.
Right, so they went north. North on Main. All right, I will let somebody know. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries.
Bye.
Thanks.
Okay. That's pretty clear cut. That was not a report that she was beating him. That was a report that he was slapping and hitting her. And was that not relayed to... Look, I had a crush for a couple of days there on Officer McBeardy, but this seems like a major screw-up. Had they been informed, would they have acted differently? If it was, would they have interrogated her differently? And that's not to say that they were overly rough. They were actually quite pleasant, given the circumstances. But my God, this is a huge shifter in the dynamic in that relationship than what we had been led to believe.
I agree. I mean, it's shocking when you hear that, and then you put into your mind that we watched, pretty much the whole hour of the body cam footage. I mean, that guy didn't seem like he was the guy that this guy was reporting on. And she didn't seem like she was very stable. She seemed like the unstable one, and the one that was hitting him when the cops pulled him over for swerving over the line and then almost hitting the curb. I mean, the explanations were that she was either grabbing the steering wheel or hitting him or both.
Well, it also helps that when you see the body cam footage of the cops, if you watch the whole stupid hour and 7 minutes.
I watched
I did too. And you hear the deliberations between the cops and the conversation. So you hear the process by which they come up with their conclusion. And it really doesn't change that, because they are going in there with the mindset of, okay, there's a report that there's some domestic violence, like maybe he slapped her around or something. And when they get there, the story's different. And so they wrap their minds around that and they go in the direction and come up to the conclusion, which still in hindsight seems like it's probably the right conclusion. Separate them for at least a night and give them the chance to go on about their separate ways. If they find their way back to each other, then that's on them. And I still kind of think that was the right call, even though it feels like they must have messed something up because she ended up dead. They gave her an escape. They gave her a chance, and she didn't take it. She took her van. She went and slept in it while he went and slept in a hotel, and then she went the next day and picked him up.
We assume. We don't know. Can I also point out that dispatcher, that 911 dispatcher, seemed like kind of a dick? Like, I could totally see him not giving the proper information to the cops.
He was having a bad day, wasn't he?
Like, they always are, man. Every time you hear the people, they sound like complete assholes.
Right, but the thing, we only hear the 911 calls that make the news, and so you got to think 99 out of 100 911 calls are bogus, and it's very irritating.
Well, I guess, but man, when the ones that are not bogus end up with a girl being dead, you'd kind of like to think that they'd get it right.
Yeah, but most of the 99, like I said, 99% of the calls this guy's picking up is like, "Hey, my son's missing. I like to report a missing person." How long has he been missing? For 6 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh wait, there he's
Yeah.
in the driveway. Thanks, lady. Okay, can you get off the line? All right.
Well, we did learn that was the reason for the delay in the filing of the missing person report, because the parents did try to report her missing on the 3rd of September, one day after learning that Brian was back without her, and the police said she's a grown-up. She's not missing. She went out on a trip.
Kind of a valid point.
Yeah. Just because she decided to not contact you anymore doesn't mean that we can start a manhunt looking for her. And I understand that. But, I was also very critical. I'm like, why did they wait till the 11th? And well, that makes sense because they didn't wait till the 11th. They tried to get it done quickly. And the police wouldn't accept a missing person report. Someone that was at that point only missing since the 1st, because, you have to start, well, when is she missing from? Well, he got back on the 1st. You know what I mean? So it's like, well, you can't file a missing persons report 48 hours later. So, okay, let's see. Let me find some other things here. We got a bunch of fun stuff that we can, not fun, but we need to run through this because we've been covering this pretty extensively okay. You know what? Ed gave me a mouse to use on this computer, and I haven't used a mouse in a long time. And I told him I don't want to use a mouse. Using a mouse sucks. And now I love using the mouse. So here we are. Oh, the other thing that I wanted to talk about was Miranda Brown. Miranda Brown is the girl who supposedly picked up Brian, who was hitchhiking on the 29th. This is the 29th of August. She was somewhere outside like Jackson Hole or something. Okay, I don't have. Okay, never mind. I'm not gonna find that. Her and her boyfriend were in their car, and they said that they picked up Brian, who was hitchhiking, and he offered them $200 to go 10 miles. He wanted to go to Jackson, and they said, okay, we're heading that way. And as they approached, Miranda said, okay, we're coming up on Jackson Hole. And he was like, no, I want to go to Jackson. And she's like, it's the same thing. Just we locals call it Jackson, but it's Jackson Hole. And that's when he demanded to be let out. It's like he got weird. So they pulled over and they let him out. And
did he pay him $200?
That's the question that I want to know. Miranda didn't say that in the
Damn
TikTok. She said they were offered $200, but she never said whether she took it or not.
And she also said that he smelled good for a guy that was out camping. He said that he had a fiance, but he hadn't been around her for several days.
Right.
And so here, to me, is what makes, and for a while, you weren't even believing this.
No, I wasn't. It took me today to see her follow-up videos and then to see that the FBI actually believed her. So
she picked him up on the 29th, right?
Yes.
And so she picks him up on the 29th. You got to think he leaves shortly thereafter to get back to Florida by the 1st. How does he become so far? How does he get so far away from the van? Makes no sense to me, to the point where he needs to get a ride back to it.
Mm-hmm.
If he's disposed the body in the middle of the field. Like this here to me sounds like it could be part of an alibi for him.
Well, here, let's listen.
Because I'm speculating, okay, maybe Gabby said, hey, dude, you need to get the hell out of my van. He's gone. She then gets killed maybe by somebody, and he gets back to the van and has no clue that she's laying in the field, and he just drives the van back. And then he gets back, and they go, well, where's Gabby? He goes, well, I really can't tell you that because I've got no clue. And oh, by the way, I just got pulled over, a week ago by the cops, and we got separated for domestic abuse. And now she's missing. And I know that I'm going to be number one, top of the food chart in terms of a guy that's suspected. So I'm going to go get myself a lawyer and ask him what I should do. And I don't know, maybe that's what happened.
So
sounds far-fetched, but
here is a compilation.
I don't know.
here's a compilation. Miranda Baker has put out 5 videos. We've only been talking about the first one that she put out. These are the 5 videos that she put out. She's spoken with the FBI. The FBI has basically given her credibility because, and this is how I changed my mind on this. I tried to figure out between the vloggers who captured the white van on their dash cam video where the body was found 300 yards away from the van. I tried to figure out on Google Maps where that was in relation to where Miranda says she picked up Brian and gave him the ride to Jackson, and they match up. I mean, it's the same area. It's the same time frame when he would have been in the area. So, and then I started reading the accompanying story, and, you know, she's been on Good Morning America. She's been interviewed by the FBI. I mean, I believe her story now. I was skeptical at first because she is a YouTuber who has a history of doing some flaky things, you know, like some weird TikTok stuff that made it seem like, okay, she's just looking for clicks. But no, this actually seems legitimate. So let's watch these. These are Miranda Baker. This is her story. So here we go. Let's check this out. All right, I'll make it bigger for us. We'll give you some of that. We'll make it bigger. Here's Miranda's story.
Kind of cute.
To clarify a few things that people are confused on still, when he asked to ride, he asked to go to Jackson, which, if you're familiar with this area, a lot of people call Jackson Hole Jackson. So that's why I said yes to giving him a ride. But you think any good hiker would know south and north. We were going south out of the park when he said he was camping north. He had told us that him and Gabby were not camping on a regulated campsite through the national park, that they were camping basically out in the middle of nowhere along Snake River. This is key information. He said that he had hiked for days along Snake River.
The Snake River runs parallel to the area where the body was found, so that checks out.
But when looking at his backpack, it wasn't full, and he said all he had was a tarp to sleep on, which you think if you're going camping for days on end, you'd want food and a tent, and he had none of that. And like I said, he looked clean and didn't smell bad.
Can I also ask a question here about this? How is she doing this? Does she have one of those selfie sticks?
I don't know.
She's holding it with her arm.
She's got an arm that long, really?
A left hand.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, here we go.
So this is food and a tent, and he had none of that. And like I said, he looked clean and didn't smell bad. So this is a view of the whole journey with Brian. So that's the top at the park at Coulter Bay, and then we drove him to this dam right here. Then at the dam, we dropped him off at this little turnout, and he said he was going to walk across the street to the parking lot, which was full of people, to continue hitchhiking and look for a ride, because he freaked out when I said Jackson Hole. He said we needed to pull over, even though Jackson and Jackson Hole are the same thing. It's the same town itself. This is the text I sent to my mom at 6:09, right when he got out of the car, saying I was okay because she was freaking out. This is at the park, or at the pickup location, and we were taking a shower. We then walked across, and our car was parked on the left side of the picture, and he talked to us right in the middle.
Can I just say, that just seems like a terrible experience where you have to shower in public showers in a national park. They got 4 seasons there. I mean, does that sound like something that would be enjoyable? I guess if you're 22, you don't know any better.
There's not a 4 seasons in the western border of Wyoming.
No, not Jackson Hole doesn't have one really. Jackson Hole's got a nice resort. It's got to. I've heard of Jackson Hole, right? There's got to be. Don't celebrities go up there? Isn't that like a celebrity area? There's got to be.
Yeah, it is. There are parts there that, supposedly are a little higher in class than just camping, but
yeah, this sounds awful.
We're talking about the van life crowd, though. The van life crowd.
Yeah, but Miranda's not van life. Miranda and her boyfriend just live in the area, and they like to go experience the woods.
But
probably to get high.
Shower opportunity explain a way that maybe that's why he didn't smell bad. Maybe he made it to the shower a day or so or hours before.
Yeah. All right, let's continue.
And he was talking to my boyfriend the entire time, but I was the one actually talking, and he was like not frantic, and he was very nice, very polite to us.
Okay.
I just want to reiterate again, everything I am telling you guys,
she glammed up for this
told
one.
the FBI, I've told the detectives, I am actively in contact with these people who are on the case, so everything I have told you, they do know. I'm just putting this out here because I want to reach people who have maybe like seen him that day or have been in contact with him before after my boyfriend were in contact with him. So this is when we picked him up. The exact time is 5:44. This is to my mom. We picked up a hitchhiker. She's obviously not very happy with me, and I now understand.
Mom, do you want to get killed? that's like straight.
Is that
mom.
what mom texts back?
Yeah. She said, "Mom, I picked up here." See, Mom, 307. We picked up a hitchhiker. Mom, do you want to get killed? Unblock your phone so I can track you for the police.
Nice.
Mom.
Thanks, Mom.
It's 5:44. This is to my mom. We picked up a hitchhiker. She's obviously not very happy with me, and I now understand. So some common questions are, did he have a phone? No, he did not have a phone. My boyfriend and I did not see him pull out a phone at all during this time. Another thing is when he freaked out about Jackson. He has to go to Jackson. During the time I said we're going to Jackson Hole. Once I said Jackson Hole, he became agitated. He seemed like he needs to get out. He was kind of antsy, and that's when things got weird. But that's when we pulled over and he... This is going to be my last video. I've said everything I need to say and what happened during my encounter with Brian. I just want to make one last video with...
What's that?
She's showing off her tattoo in this one.
Yeah, look at this. Look, she's obviously a savvy YouTuber. She mixes up the look for every picture. Some is Sporty Spice.
Curled her hair. She did her makeup.
Yeah.
Shadowed her eyes.
She's got a whole sleeve going, it looks like, on her right. Yeah. She's got something. I got no issues with Miranda.
Everything in it because I know people are going out there to help search for her. So I just want all the maps and the facts and in one place. Okay, this is the text I sent my mom when we dropped him off. This just has like the date in it and the timestamp. So we dropped him off at 6:09. But as you can see, we picked him up at 5.
Yeah, not dead, Mom. Made it. But that is important though, because
so you dropped him off at 6:09, and here she's saying where she picked him up
on the 29th.
No, but she's saying the time she picked him up.
She said about 5:30 in the earlier video.
So they were with him in the car for about 40 minutes.
Yeah.
5:54. This is off my mom's because my texts don't go back this far. And then, it says we dropped him off at 6:09. So this is where we picked him up. We picked him up in Coulter Bay, and we dropped him off by this dam. He was hitchhiking. There was no van. Gabby was not with him. It was just him.
So where's the
body
found?
So this is what the dam looked like.
Pugs.
Okay, a little bit further. So this is Jackson Bay, or no, Coulter Bay on Jackson Lake. And I believe this, if you could pull out, this would be what leads into the Snake River. So if this whole map went further, the body was found like over here. And the road was like this way, and the body was found here. Because it runs parallel, the river sort of drifts this way. Okay? So, yeah, he made his way to what maybe Coulter Bay seems to be a little city. So he made his way back to civilization, and that's where he met them and wanted a ride to. But remember, on the 29th, the van was seen over here by those vloggers. So, I mean, it all, as far as like putting him in this area and where the body was found, that all matches up. This all matches. And
it matches up in as much as, yes, he's in the vicinity, but it doesn't match up that, okay, you abandoned the van.
Well, no, that's not a matter of matching up. That's just a question we still have. Like, what was that about? Why did he hoof it on foot? Now, I theorized that he killed her, freaked out, and went on a walkabout and found himself here. And that's when he was like, I got to get back. And he probably thought the van was somewhere near Jackson because that was the closest city that he probably passed through before he, dumped her body out here. I'm speculating. Dude, we've been doing nothing but speculating. I'm just trying to make this whole scenario. Now that we know where the body was, we know where the body was. We don't know that that's where the deed occurred, but I mean, this is all sort of bringing at least that aspect of the case clearer.
We dropped him off at the turnout because this is going south. If you're going like this, he then said, I'm going to get out and I'm going to hitchhike, find a different ride. He said he was going to go across the parking lot over here, which was filled with a bunch of people. Again, this is on August 29th at 6:09. So this is a map of Grand Teton National Park. During our ride, he said, well, before he got in the car, he said I wanted to go to.
So this here looks like the Snake River. Where's the Snake? There's Jackson. You know what? This doesn't help. I can't see that map. Good enough.
Jackson. So this is Jackson. Like right there, you can see it says Jackson.
So they picked him up here.
Of the park, right?
Body was over
Jackson,
here. And here's the Snake River, I'm guessing.
Commonly referred to as well. So I said, you know what? We're going to Jackson. Hop in. You know, he was very nice. He offered us $200 to give him this ride.
Did you take it?
Picked him up. You can see here, Coulter Bay right there. It's like pretty north of the park. And he said he was hiking along Snake River, which is up here, and it kind of like goes down a little bit. And he said he was gone for multiple days, and he had left his fiance, never called her by her name, back at their campsite, which he said they camped in a dispersed campsite, so it's not a regulated campsite. And he was gone for multiple days without her, and he was sleeping on a tarp. When we picked him up, he had a backpack, long sleeves, a hat on, and scruff. He wasn't clean shaved, and he had hiking boots on, but he didn't look dirty. The only thing dirty about him were his shoes. And he was very nice during the trip, you know, very calm. We were making small talk. He was agitated when I said Jackson Hole, okay? So we were going south to Jackson. There's no other place in the Tetons called Jackson. Why he became agitated, I don't know. He just was very set on getting out of the car, which is why we pulled out by the dam, and that's why he got out. I don't know why he wanted to get out so bad. I don't know what other place he wanted to go to, because there's only one Jackson. So that's all I have, and I hope she's returned safely and they find her safe. I just wanted to...
Man, this is so weird.
I just wanted to add, I have talked to the cops. I've talked to the FBI.
Sorry, James, go ahead.
If you go 5 miles east of where this guy was dropped off at the Jackson Lake Dam, I found this on Google Maps.
Okay.
5 miles east is a town called Moran, Moran.
Okay.
I just thought that was weird.
Saying I had something to do with it? Well,
I mean, you might have some sort of cosmic connection here. That might be a sign from the gods. With us.
I'm actually becoming slightly enchanted by Miranda. I'm finding myself falling in love with young Miranda.
Yeah, she gets more beautiful by the second. But you know what? The timeline kind of tracks with the sighting in Victor. The sighting in Victor, if you just look, if you want to go around from where they dropped him off at this dam, Victor, Idaho is just right across the border between Wyoming and Idaho, not too far where they're from.
Okay.
So this does line up with where we've tracked these two lovebirds on their timeline.
I am putting out there, they already know. So I have already done that. If this jogs anyone's memory, please don't hesitate to reach out. I first, heard about this on TikTok a few days ago, which is why I'm putting this out on TikTok to hopefully, reach out to someone who had also might have seen him that day and, picked him up before or after we did. And I'm just really hoping that this helps find Gabby and bring her home safe.
All right. Well, there we have it. That's old Miranda, who I'm now on Team Miranda. I was not believing her until I looked at the map like James just did and put it all together and went, I'll be damned. She seems to be in the right area at the right time on the right day.
But did she really give us anything that helped us? Everything she gave us makes us more confused.
No, you're absolutely right. See, what she gave on Saturday would have helped me, but I was skeptical and I didn't pay her any mind. But now knowing what we know where the body was found, now I'm like, oh shit, I should have listened to her. You were listening to her, and I kept saying, nah, she's a TikToker.
Right, but I was listening to her, and it just made me more frustrated because none of that makes any sense, and it still leaves me with even more questions.
But it doesn't have
the chat room. They're thinking he might have freaked out and took your walkabout and then came back and got the van. But damn, isn't that risky?
Well, Kay Hunter Turner there in the chat room, she has he was probably trying to create an alibi for himself as if he wasn't there, then decided to go back and get the van. Because remember, he told Miranda that, they'd been separated for 2 days. He went out on a hike by himself and he left her back at the thing. So, he gets back there, finds her, she's dead. I didn't do it. I was gone. Ask Miranda. You know what I mean? I mean, that makes sense. He could have been trying to create an alibi, having other people see him with the story that, although it's a stupid alibi because
is it really though a stupid alibi?
Because that doesn't mean you didn't kill her. That just means you're saying that you weren't there. It just
I mean, now they need to establish the time of death, and if the time of death is after he gets back, that's one thing. If the time of death is before he went hitchhiking, I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's just look, it helps now that we know where the body was found. So here, let's see what this is.
Well, the useful part of her story is it confirms the existing timeline. It doesn't break any new information as much as it sort of calcifies the thoughts we were thinking are now, okay, they probably were in Victor. That lines up with that whole story.
Yeah, I'm with you on it. It helps certainly put him in the neighborhood, but we kind of knew that once we got the video.
And Kay also says over here in the comments, who picks up hitchhikers in this crazy world we live in now?
Hippie chicks like Miranda and her boyfriend who shower in public rest stops. That's
I totally pick up hitchhikers. I still do. It doesn't happen very often, but if I'm in a position where I see one and I'm by myself, if I'm with the whole family, no, but I still pick up hitchhikers. I do.
Are you kidding me? I've never picked up a hitchhiker in my life. If I see somebody, look, I will pull over and help somebody if they're standing on the side of the road and it looks like they're having some trouble and they need a ride. That's one thing. But some greasy hitchhiker with a backpack? No way. No way. Are you nuts?
Yeah, why
not?
That
people do pick up hitchhikers. I ran out of gas once on one of my trips to the Derby and I got picked up.
Okay, so here's another thing that I wanted to mention that happened today. It was revealed if you remember, Gabby's mom said that she received a text on the 29th from Gabby, and she doesn't believe that it was from Gabby. And she said there were some of the details of the text that were not revealed. All we knew was that the text included there is no cell service in Yellowstone. Right? That was, although we know now, or at least we're thinking now that they were nowhere near Yellowstone. They were in Teton on the 29th, Grand Teton National Park on the 29th. So maybe they were heading there. I don't know what the deal is there, but it was revealed today.
Grand Teton and Yellowstone are about next door.
Are they?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, next door, hundreds of miles. I mean, these are not little parks like at the corner. These are like massive parks the size of states.
Well, yeah, but these massive parks are adjacent.
Okay. All right. So it's like Rhode Island and whatever little jerkwater.
And is this the Snake River Canyon that Evel Knievel jumped?
Sure. Well, no, the Snake River runs into the Snake River Canyon, but yes, it's all the same.
Yeah, this is a Snake River from Oregon Trail where someone in your party died of cholera or dysentery or something.
All right, so let me see if I can find exactly what it was. Sorry, I'm fumbling through this. Okay, so basically, what the mother revealed today about what it was that made her think that it wasn't Gabby sending the text, right? What made her think that? No service in Yellowstone doesn't give us any clues. What else also included in the text was, hey, Stan keeps calling and leaving voice messages. I can't call him back. Will you tell him I don't have cell service? That's the message that the mother received, supposedly from Gabby, that made the mom go, that ain't Gabby. You know what? You know why? Stan was her grandpa. And she never in the world called him Stan. She would have said, Grandpa keeps calling me and leaving messages. Will you tell him that I don't have cell service? However, I mean, if Brian texted that, I mean, what a dummy this guy is. I mean, he didn't think that through. A granddaughter doesn't call her grandfather by his first name. And that's how the mom went, that doesn't
What if Gabby. Brian doesn't know that Stan is the grandpa's name, and Brian freaks out and thinks that there's this dude named Stan that's calling Gabby because he has this jealous rage that we've heard about. And Gabby gets essentially offed because Stan keeps on calling repeatedly. What do you think about that?
No, here's the flaw in that. I think that if Brian thought it was some dude hound dogging her, then he wouldn't have told the mom. I mean, it was obvious. Stan was obviously someone that Brian connected to the mom as well. You know what I mean? Like Stan is, Brian obviously knew that mom could get in contact with Stan. And that's because Stan was mom's dad, you know, but Gabby called him grandpa, not Stan. That's a really bad mistake. You know, that's a clue. That's a tell. This dude's.
Yeah. Like why wouldn't, if you knew, why wouldn't you say, tell grandpa not to keep calling? Like, it seems like, I don't know. There's just so many things here that just.
I think mom was clever and kind of picked up on it immediately.
Well, yeah. I mean, in the most horrifying way a mother could pick up on something.
So does mom not call then when she gets that text? Like,
I don't know. Here though, this is Kevin was talking about this earlier. He wanted us to go through this. This is part of the
search warrant.
Yeah, search warrant affidavit. Let's read through this. Let's see what's going on here. This is page 4. He told me to check out page 4 and 5. Your affidavit is a detective with the Northport Police Department and is currently assigned to the Criminal Investigative Division. The affidavit has been a police officer. He's a police officer for approximately 10 years and has been assigned to the Criminal Investigative Division for 9 months. Your affiant is charged with the responsibility of investigating crimes such as crimes against persons or property and the investigation of missing persons. The subject, Gabrielle Venora Petito, and her boyfriend, Brian Laundrie, left from New York State sometime in mid-June 2021 for a vacation in Utah, traveling a variety of national parks along the way. While they were on the trip, they documented some of the events on a YouTube video, Van Life, beginning our van life journey. During the trip, the subject sent multiple text messages and had many talks with her mother, Nicole Schmidt, via cell phone communication using her subscriber number, the phone number, issued by T-Mobile. During these conversations, there appeared to be more and more tension between her and Laundrie. So that would be, I guess, the mother gleaning that from talking to her daughter, that things were not going well between the lovebirds. On 8/12/21, a report was generated by the Moab City Police Department, Moab, Utah, referencing a domestic disturbance between the subject and Laundrie. In the report, Officer Robbins wrote, "After evaluating the totality of the circumstances, I do not believe the situation escalated to the level of a domestic assault as much of that of a mental health crisis." Officer Robbins stated that the subject was having a severe case of anxiety, per the subject's testimony on the scene. Now that's Gabby. Remember, Gabby said that she was kind of spinning out and all that. But still, why didn't this police officer get the report accurately from the dispatcher who said that he was hitting her? That was never even asked. That was never even investigated. All right. Subject of having severe case of anxiety, per the subject's testimony on the scene. Laundrie also told the responding officer that he was concerned about the subject because her anxiety had worsened during their extended trip. Okay, so Brian's a monster. So Brian is obviously the bad guy here, and he has completely gaslit Gabby into believing that all of this is her fault. And now, when she's sitting in the back of the police car, crying her eyes out because she can't believe what's going on, he's telling the cop, "Oh, she's crazy. This is totally her. I'm Mr. Awesome. Look how great I am. I don't even drink water out of plastic bottles. I don't wear shoes. I'm a little dirty, but hey, check me out. I'm Mr. Fun Guy." This guy is a son of a bitch. I mean, honestly, after hearing the 911 call that a witness saw him chasing and hitting and slapping her, and then we juxtapose that with the video that we saw of him talking to cops, that's a sociopath. That is how a sociopath behaves. Not a psychopath. People do sociopath and psychopath are two completely different things. Don't get them confused. Let's see here. Laundrie also told the responding officer that he was concerned about the subject because of her anxiety and it was worsening during their extended trip. On the 27th of August, the subject's mother, Nicole Schmidt, received an odd text from the subject. The text message, "Can you help Stan? I just keep getting his voicemails and missed calls." The reference to Stan was regarding her grandfather, but per the mother, she never calls him Stan. The mother was concerned that something was wrong with her daughter. Okay, so that's the 27th. So if we're to believe that Brian is screwing up grandpa's name, just bum texts that are revealing that something's weird going on, would we assume that Gabby was already dead at that point? Because he got picked up by Miranda 2 days later. He said he'd been hiking for 2 days. So he killed her on the 27th and then went on the walkabout and met Miranda on the 29th. I mean, these dates are it's all starting to fall into line date-wise. This was the last communication anyone had with the subject. Her cell phone was no longer operational and she stopped posting anything on social media about their trip. Per her family, this was not normal behavior for the subject, and they became more worried about her. On September 11th, 2021, the subject was entered as a missing person by the Suffolk County Police Department in New York based on the reports from the Moab City Police Report. It appears the subject is also endangered due to mental health concerns. All right, we need to back off the mental health concerns at this point. Brian is the one who seems like the bad guy here. On September 11th, 2021, the subject's van, a white Ford Transit bearing Florida tag, was located at the address 4343 Wabasso Avenue, Northport, Florida, per the license plate reader installed at the, I don't know what that is. All right, so there's page.
It looked like at Sunsetter Boulevard or something like that.
Here's the next one. Yeah, Interstate 75. That vehicle entered the city of Northport on September 1st. Okay, so they have when he arrived back in Northport due to license tags.
See, I told you, Big Brother's watching at those traffic signals.
Wow. Brian Laundrie's family stated that the subject was not at the residence and they did not know her whereabouts. They refused to allow Brian to speak with law enforcement and directed the officers on the scene to speak with their attorney. So this is on the 11th. So right from the get-go, the parents were like, yeah, she's not here. Nah, he's not talking. I mean, these parents are culpable. I mean, it's really reading all of this stuff and now, oh man. Based on the totality of the circumstances related to the subject's mental health, I believe there is probable cause to believe that the subject is unable to care for herself due to her increased anxiety. Just stop it. She's been murdered. This isn't just some crazy chick. She's a crazy chick. You know how crazy chicks are. Jesus, even this affidavit seems awful. I believe there is probable cause to believe that the subject is unable to care for herself due to the increased anxiety. Due to this behavior, our concerns for her welfare have reached an exigent level. Her cell phone has been turned off for approximately 15 days, and there have been no sightings of her since August 27th, 2021. Okay, so August 27th, 2021 was when they were at that place and she said, we're getting married. But also August 27th is when we believe that Brian sent the stand to stop. So what was going on?
Man, it went downhill fast.
It did. I mean, if we're to believe that she knew that Brian was spinning out and that she needed to get him back in her good graces. And so she said, you know what, let's get the engagement back on. Let's be in love again, just to control him, which, she may have thought she could do because, she knew him for a couple of years. I mean, at what point in the long ride did he just snap? Man, I bet it was scary. This poor kid. Ugh. On 9/14/21, so that was just a week ago, on 9/14/20, 5 days ago, on 9/14/21 at approximately 7 p.m., a signed search warrant was executed for the subject's vehicle, the van, at the Northport Police Department. Within the subject's vehicle, the crime scene technicians noticed a black Western digital external hard drive with a serial number, and then they give that. This computer's external storage device is potentially the subject of property, and due to that, it may contain viable digital forensic data that could assist in the location of said missing endangered subject. Okay, well, we found her. We already know that. Your affiant knows that computer hardware, software, and electronic files may be important to a criminal investigation in two distinct ways. One, the objects themselves may be contraband, evidence, instrumentalities, or fruits of crime, and or two, the objects may be used as storage devices that contain contraband, evidence, instrumentalities, or fruits of crime in the form of electronic data. This affidavit also requests, it's hard to read, it's really small. This affidavit also requests permission to search the computer hardware that may contain said electronic data. Okay, so this is just, they seize the computers and all her electronic devices and all his electronic devices. Based upon your affirm's knowledge, training, and experience, you affirm your affiant knows that searching and seizing information from computers often requires agents to seize most or all electronic storage devices, along with related peripherals, to be searched later. Okay. The volume of evidence, computer storage drives. Okay, I don't know. Yeah.
So we found out that she's on the T-Mobile network.
Yeah.
And T-Mobile has the best 5G across the country.
Do they? Is that
well, I mean, according to their advertisements.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then you would think the FBI is going to have access to any calls that were made to her phone, any calls that she made or someone made from that phone, any texts that came, anytime she pulled up an email or any emails that were, I mean, if you've got the phone and the phone number and you've got the carrier, I mean, don't you have a window into essentially everything that's inside that phone, even though you don't retrieve the phone?
I don't know. I don't know what's going to be on there. I mean, I don't think he videotaped himself killing her. They did a lot of work on the computers. It's probably a lot of beautiful scenery. And look, I mean, they were releasing and uploading stuff that painted them as, this beautiful. Did you see the picture of them kissing under the waterfall? I mean, I don't know what you're going to find there. He murdered her. This is straight out of the 1970s. I don't know what other kind of evidence they're going to find, right? I mean, what's going to be on
the only evidence that matters right now is where is he right now? Who cares where he was 2 weeks ago? That we already know what the conclusion of that story is, and it'll be pieced together and we don't have to worry about it. Where is he? Did he go to Mexico? Did he go to Canada? Did he take a boat to Cuba? Who knows?
Well, let's talk about that for a minute. Where is he? Because E and I, Sunglasses and I, we were discussing, and by the way, Brady, yes, I'll be working on a PowerPoint to make that a better, more descriptive presentation for you. Just give me a day. We don't know. Sunglasses and I were talking about how could leaving the car at the Carlton Preserve, the Everglades, where they've been searching for the last 3 days, called off the search today, said, yeah, he ain't here. He ain't here. That was a place he was known to go. Could leaving the car there have been a deke? Like, hey, this is where my car is, so I'm in the woods, so now go spend 3 days while I'm running in the other direction.
Sure am in the woods. Yeah.
E?
Well, that or it seems like, again, we don't have all the facts in front of us.
Remember the police put a ticket on the car or a note telling, so that car was officially logged there. So that's when the parents went, okay, we can take it back now. The car has been officially logged as being here.
Something really changed today when they stopped searching the Carlton Preserve. About 10 or 12 agents show up to the parents' house. Other agents show up to the sister's house. They then tow the Mustang out of the driveway.
Yeah.
They take the parents to the van, and instead of separating them, they put them together in the van. Some people have speculated that the reason they did that,
recording in the van,
was because that they were going to record them in the van, and if they did record them in the van, that would be legal because they are in an FBI van. So anything you can say, can and will be used against you.
Yeah, I hadn't heard that, but yeah, that makes perfect sense. That's probably
so that's
exactly
why they, kind of shocked them with this warrant, said, hey, you need to get out of your house. We're going to stick the two of you in the van. Maybe then just for optics, they rush a bunch of people into the house, and him and her sitting in the van going, oh my God, are they going to find this? Or are they going to find that? And so was that a tactic to maybe record them and figure out what they're talking about because they had clammed up through the attorney? The other thing that kind of struck me is, okay,
hold on, hold that thought 1 second here. You started that out by, well, what changed today? Well, what changed today is it went from a missing person to a homicide investigation. That's what changed. That's why they crashed the house this morning, because no longer are they just looking for an innocent girl lost with no crime committed. Now they've got a body and they've got a chief suspect. I mean, that's what precipitated the crash of the house today.
I agree that changed, but pulling everybody off of the Carlton Reserve seems like they didn't have enough time to fully go the 83 miles or whatever, how expansive that spot is, with the amount of people they had there for a day or a day and a half. They didn't have the opportunity to do that. So if I'm trying to maybe now get the parents wrapped up in aiding and abetting, what if they found him dead today? Or somebody found him yesterday, as the Twitter video that I've been asking you to play.
Yeah, I can't find it. I just happened to stumble across. Remember, I told you it was missing for hours, and then just by happenstance, when we were driving back, I found it like right away, and now I can't find it again.
Right, and so there's a guy that's essentially saying that they found him dead, hanging in a tree, and this had been reported to him by his friend, who was somehow associated to the North Point Police Department.
No, I didn't get that. Did you get that?
He said he was somehow with law enforcement. Somehow he had heard that.
No, I think he said I've talked to law enforcement, but that seems to be what everybody. Maybe maybe you're right.
I thought he had heard it from somebody that had talked to law enforcement or something like that. Anyway, point was that there is a guy on Twitter who posted a video that said that they found him dead and he was hanging in a tree. That kind of makes sense. As quickly as they stopped the Carlton thing, and then what if they are trying to get the parents for covering up? Because you can't do anything to him if he's dead. So in order to get justice, you would probably want to go after the parents. And it seems like they certainly became front and center, part of the, focus of today. Whereas why weren't they that on Friday when they reported him missing, when he allegedly had left the house on Tuesday? They went back to the preserve on Wednesday and then went back and picked up the car on Thursday, according to their attorney.
So let me ask this. Earlier today, there was now, let's say that he is dead and they did find him dead. And that's why they called off the search at the Carlton preserve, whatever it is, because they found the body and it's over. They didn't release that publicly, but they got the body. And you're right. Maybe that's why they don't want they need to let the parents know. They're still sweating the parents, try and find out, what they're going to say. So they place them in the van, see if they can build a case against the parents, because, they're the only people left here for justice to drop the mallet on. Now, and then earlier today, there was a press conference announced for tomorrow between the laundry's attorney and the laundries. They were going to come out and they were going to have this press conference. Now, somebody said that press conference has been called off. I don't know where that came from. I don't know. I think I saw it in the
I
chat
saw it
room.
in the chat room as well.
Yeah. And I'm looking for anything that says it's been called off. I can't find it. But again, I'm trying to do 3 different things at once here. So maybe. Yeah, Kate.
Just says the video of the old guy is on YouTube.
Yeah, I'm sure it is somewhere, but wouldn't know how to find
here's
it.
Another guy saying the press conference is canceled.
Who is saying that?
Kevin Barber.
Kevin. Okay, Kevin, I trust Kevin. Kevin, where did you hear that? Because I've been at a football game
all Twitter message.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to go with that because Kevin's credible.
The abrupt manner in which the search was called off in the little wildlife preserve that's between North Parker and Sarasota lets us know that the cops got some piece of information or some piece of evidence that shows that this is worthless. So he's somewhere else.
Yeah.
Or he's dead.
I think that, or he could be dead, or they went, oh, this was a deke. This was, they had us wasting our time here for 3 days while he's heading towards Mexico. He's
isn't
in Alabama
it interesting that the attorney who had hey, we're not going to say anything. We wish, Gabby's family all the best in trying to find her. Then all of a sudden today, when the shit hits the fan, it appears like with the FBI agents coming into the house, setting them out in the van. All of a sudden now he wants to call a press conference with them and talk about stuff on the same day that the coroner's report's coming out. And now it's canceled. Maybe is it canceled because the Laundries are under arrest?
No, that would be public. That's public. You can't secretly arrest people. We would know. The press would know if the Laundries were under arrest. You can't just, secretly arrest people and then, that's
can't hold them for a while and question them
for double probation.
Take them down to the station.
That's all public. I mean, and there are so many reporters following this and staking out the police station and going through everything that's been
You
filed.
Say that, but how did he get out of the damn house?
Was he ever in the house? I mean,
he had to be. How did the van get there?
Dropped the van off and been gone since. Who knows? We don't know.
September 2nd, maybe. He could have been gone.
Yeah, it could have been gone on the 2nd. What the heck? Hold on. Okay, so let's see here. I'm going to try one more time to find this guy. I don't even really want to find this guy because I think he's another one of these phony baloney types, but we may as well play it since we're talking about it.
I think he just turns into a phony baloney type for you because you don't like what he's saying.
No, I don't like. What is the guy? James hit it on the net. What is this guy doing on TikTok? This seems like a work. It seems like some kid got their grandpa to do this.
After today, if this was his 15 minutes of fame, no one's going to follow him on TikTok. What's the purpose of getting clicks for today?
Getting 1 million clicks today. That's the purpose. You monetize 1 million clicks. That's a windfall of money for this guy in one day. 1 million clicks? Are you kidding me? Yeah.
But he's advertising nothing. Here. How does he get money?
Because I don't know. You'd have to ask Ed. I don't know. We have obviously not figured that out yet. So working on it, but yeah. All right, let me see here. It was so easy to find. It was the first thing I pulled up when we were in the car. And I'm like, well, let's see what's going on. Oh, here's the guy. After I searched an hour this afternoon to try and find it again after I first told you about it. Couldn't find it.
Yeah, I got to see it in the McDonald's parking lot while we were getting dinner.
And now it's gone forever. And
but in the middle of all this, doesn't Grand Teton National Park look nice? They keep showing it on TV.
It looks beautiful. And can I tell you what I'm going to do after all of this? If I am going to go back and rewatch Ken Burns' National Parks documentary series. Have you seen that, James? Are you a Ken Burns fan?
I'm a huge Ken Burns fan, and I found that series to be sort of disappointing. I watched the first episode and was like, I'm done with this.
Oh, man, I devoured all 10 episodes or whatever they were. It was fascinating about how the national parks came to be and how we're the only place in the world that has national parks. We're the only country on the globe that actually sets aside these places for the public good. Teddy Roosevelt. I'm a big Teddy Roosevelt guy, so I thought that was all cool. All right, so I'm going to go back and watch that. I'm especially going to watch the one on the Tetons, because since we're paying so much attention to the Teton National Park.
Yeah, and it is, if it's not touching Yellowstone, it is really close. To use the word adjacent would be correct. Dude, Nightline's on right now, and they are rolling with the story of FBI going into the laundry house.
Yeah. Better late than never, I guess, huh, Nightline? Nightline is still on? That's like how I feel when I hear Grey's Anatomy is still on. What? Are you kidding me? That's still on?
Yeah, didn't we get the Iran hostages back? You can turn the show off.
Yeah. Oh, James, look at you. Knowing the origin story of Nightline.
I have my moments.
You do. That is in fact where Nightline came from. It was a nightly report on the Iran hostage situation, and ABC had such good ratings that they decided to turn it into a permanent thing. Nightline. Yeah, this guy is not out there. This is just so maddening how it can be found so easily when I wasn't even looking for it, with Emil in the parking lot of McDonald's, and now I can't find it because I'm actually looking for it. I should not be wasting this much time on this clown show. This guy is not even that important. I can't believe it. All right, let's see here. And at this point, we're like an hour past. So if it was loaded up for, let's see. All right. So yeah, that's it. So I guess there's no press conference tomorrow. So I was thinking maybe there would be a press conference if they found him dead, right? The family might come. But now they've canceled the press conference. So that also means that maybe they found him dead, canceling the press conference, right? I mean, it can go either way. That's why this story is so weird.
Yeah.
Called off the search, issued a press conference, then reports that the body was found dead. Oh, there was also a story this afternoon about a body that was found in outside Mobile, Alabama. They found a body, some drifter, and for about 45 minutes online, everybody was saying, "It's Brian, they caught him, they found him, he's dead, he's in Mobile, Alabama, they found the body." And then turned out just a drifter, just another drifter. Mobile Police Department said, "Nope, not him." People go back to obsessing over everything else. But that, what is this? There's so many people with their
We need to see this.
What are you guys watching?
Well, I'm watching Nightline, where they have some footage I've never seen.
Yeah, they have some footage I've never seen
static.
before. I'm doing the same thing.
Oh, that might be the new video. There's a new video out there that's floating around. We haven't seen it. And here I am. I'm still looking for old Cletus walking around the woods talking about how they found the body. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I mean, they literally have footage like inside the van that I haven't seen.
Oh, I've seen the inside the van footage where she's making yogurt and stuff. You haven't seen that?
Yeah, but I mean, they crawled in, and now we got the mother.
You see his guitar in there, and she's making some awful looking yogurt. Oh, hey, guess who found it? Guess who finally found it?
Pugs find it.
All right, here we go. I found it. All right, so we're going to play this guy now. This is boop, boop, a doo, doo, doo. I knew that if I stayed stick-to-itiveness, kids, it pays off. All right, so this is just some guy who got a lot of play on TikTok earlier today. And he claims that
breaking news.
Breaking news, he says. All right, and there's no way to pause it because it's freaking TikTok, and I'm not a member, so I have to just let it play. So here, we'll jump in. We'll just get a chance to look at this guy. Here we go. All right. It's titled, Brian Laundrie Found Hanging in a Tree. Okay, well, that's certainly going to get some attention, right? All right, you can see him there. Now I'll turn him on. Here we go. See if I can figure out a way to... Oh, there he is. Okay.
Brian Laundrie hanging in a tree. He hung himself. I got this information. I have a friend that lives in the same county as Gabby and Brian. You know, it's a sad story, but, you know, it's kind of was our hunch that he's probably missing because he killed himself. And from what I'm hearing right now, they found him hanging in a tree. He hung himself. Breaking news. They just found Brian Laundrie hanging in a tree. He hung himself. I got this information. I have a friend that lives in the same county as Gabby and Brian. You know, it's a sad story, but you know, it's kind of was our hunch that he's probably missing because he killed himself. And from what I'm hearing right now, they found him hanging in a tree. He hung himself.
All right.
Breaking news. They just found.
All right, it's enough of you. All right, so which one of you idiots finds that Cletus credible? Come on, let me have it. Which one of you? What's that?
Not for 5 seconds. No.
No. Sunglasses, you find Cletus credible. He didn't say anything about authorities, by the way. He said nothing about authorities. He said nothing about authorities. And when you said that, I wanted to call you out on it, but I figured, well, maybe he's right.
He said his friend and lived in another county. That's the part I got wrong. Yeah. He said he lived in another county, but I believe that he believes that his friend knows that, but I don't know.
What the hell is that guy doing on TikTok, James? That's the question that you raised first. That guy doesn't have a TikTok account. That guy thinks that TikTok is a way for the Chinese to steal all of our oatmeal or whatever the hell it is they think it's doing. Right? I mean, that guy does not seem like he embraces, certainly not a Chinese company like TikTok. That's total work.
I think he's lying. And so then the question is, did someone really tell him that and he happens to be an old dude on TikTok, or did someone put him up to it?
Okay, no such thing as an old dude on TikTok. He is not on TikTok. That is not believable. He may have been told that, but I believe he was told that by his darling little niece, who is on TikTok, who manages that account, who wanted to get some hits. So she decided to get somebody that would seem like they'd be credible. So why not get old Cletus, old Grandpa Cletus or whatever, and have him say this bullshit? And now that thing got shared so much.
But he doesn't strike me as a guy that wants a bunch of clicks.
No, he doesn't, but he's doing it for his darling little niece, who probably runs the TikTok account. He doesn't have a TikTok. That dude does not have a TikTok account. That guy has been recruited by somebody younger in his family who has a TikTok account, who went, I need somebody who seems like they might be credible and not questioned. And they thought, why not get an old man, not thinking that people like me would go, that man's not on TikTok. That's not credible.
Right. But so Cletus just got 40,000 new followers. Meanwhile, you and I are racking our brains trying to go viral. Right.
Yeah, right.
Why don't we do this stuff?
Whatever. People. Let me see who let me see who the account is, because Cletus's account is shared by somebody else. This is whose account? All right, let me click on it. Bounty by observation. Let's see who this is. Oh my God. Look at him now. 80,000 followers in the last 24 hours. 80,000 followers. 575,000 likes.
So we need to make a video that says we found Brian Laundrie's body. And even if it's a hoax, we'll still get the 80,000 followers and voila.
Holy shit. Hey, guess what? Either he's got a lot of videos. So this might be, but that doesn't change the fact that it's not his idea. He doesn't know about TikTok. This is somebody younger in his family who's like, hey, your crazy uncle, let's start recording him and let's start a TikTok account and see what we can get. This guy doesn't know dick about TikTok. Let's see what else he's doing. Here's another one. Let's see what he says here.
All right, everyone's asking me where I got the information. Well, I just got new information that the guy that everybody thought that was in a tree, that was Brian, it wasn't Brian, it was a homeless guy.
Oh, okay.
So that's what I'm being told now, since I got so much publicity on knowing something that, well, there was a guy hanging in a tree, but it is not Brian. From what I'm hearing now, that's what the story is. So I'm doing what everybody else does here on TikTok. I hear things and I do little videos. I didn't know that I was going to go viral on saying something that someone else said, right? But I'm here to tell you now that I just got news that it was a homeless guy and it wasn't Brian, right? People are looking and they're scouring for information. So please understand, and I'm, into the story just like you. Love you, mean it.
All right. So now I kind of feel bad.
All right.
now Cletus seems all right.
I told you, I thought he believed what he heard.
You told me nothing. He was still not credible from the get-go.
He honestly believed what he heard, and he wasn't trying to game the system for clicks.
That's why. He believed what he heard because he's a big dummy. He's Charlie Daniels looking son of a bitch getting 500,000 clicks off of just saying bullshit into a TikTok machine. Come on.
Here we are wasting our time with the truth.
Yes, here I am trying to be analytical about all of this bullshit. And, we've got 100 clicks? This guy's got 575,000 likes in 24 hours.
I mean, he was so dismissive of it was just a guy hanging in the tree, not Brian. That wasn't significant. Right. It was just some dude hanging in the tree, but not Brian.
He ran with it that it was Brian. Why not? And guess what? It paid off for him. 75,000 follows now. This dude has 75,000 people following him. He probably had 300 before this morning. And now,
was the guy, and I think he had even the county wrong, because didn't you tell me earlier that they found a body in Alabama?
Yeah.
And it turned out to be a homeless guy?
Yeah. That may be what he's talking about. There were reports that a body was found outside Mobile, Alabama, and that was trending around the same time as this video. So they might be related. This guy might be from, I don't know. James, you're a Southern man by birth. Is that an Alabama accent, or is that a Florida accent, or are they all the same?
No, I think the funniest thing was when he said, I didn't know I'd go viral. What do you mean you didn't know you'd go viral? That's the whole reason you're making videos on TikTok.
Right, but you can't distinguish the accent between Georgia and Alabama, Mississippi, and northern Florida. It's all the same. It's all sounds like Deliverance.
I kind of want to hear what else he's got to say. He's got a bunch of videos. Can we hear a little bit more from Cletus?
No, I know he's full of crap.
Well, yeah, but let's see what's going on here. Cletus seems to be. Let's see, what's this one called?
Let's dial back to not today.
Yeah, no, let's hold on. I'm interested in this. I want to see what this is.
Let's ask Cletus' opinion on vaccines.
Here we go.
Buy a beast and start acting like violent beasts. Exactly. Now, sometimes a prophet will tell you what a symbol means. Like in Daniel, we're told those beasts symbolize...
Oh, he's one of these apocalyptic biblical dudes. Okay, there you go. That's all I needed to know. This is a whole thing about how the beast is coming back. And okay, so we're going to move on very quietly around.
Where are these videos that you were going to play for us?
Yeah, we're out of time. We got 6 minutes. I ain't going to die. Look, this is apparently the second show again. Where we planned to do a whole bunch of stuff, and it just turned into me screaming at you people because nobody can figure this out.
Tell it to the beast.
Has he got TikTok with Chevy Chase? What is this? This guy looks just like Chevy Chase. Is this Chevy Chase?
Big Chevy Chase fan. Without telling me you're a big is a thing to say on a bright. Tell me you're a big Chevy Chase fan. Without telling me you're a big
All right, so it appears to me that he paid Chevy Chase to do a cameo. And Chevy Chase is now popping up in his TikTok. Isn't that against the cameo rules? You know what cameo is, where you pay like $500 to get a celebrity to give you a FaceTime call or something like that. He's got Chevy Chase. Hello to you. Somebody told me you're a big Chevy Chase fan.
And then get that win to tell your son happy birthday.
Yeah, man. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's all right. I'm out of gas. Tomorrow's another day. I thought honestly that today we weren't gonna have anything more to talk about here with the Gabby Petito case, but every single day there seems to be something new coming out. Sadly, Sunday was the worst day. Sunday was the day when all of our worst thoughts were confirmed.
Well, now's the manhunt phase. Where's Brian? Let's get him.
Yeah. Now
I would be remiss if I didn't bring up the 2 dead lesbian girls. When are we going to get something going with that?
So true. So true. I agree.
All right. You're going to twist my arm. Maybe that'll be a spin-off series that we'll do. That'll be a companion series. Who killed the lesbians in the desert? We can do that. Yeah, I lost my train of thought. There was something I wanted to. Oh, yes. Okay. So you know what we have now? I mean, you're right, James. Now we've got the manhunt. And I love a good manhunt. I love a good coast to coast sightings. I love a good, I don't say what is manhunt. I don't talk about the O.J. Simpson Bronco chase. That was just like a 3-hour affair. I'm more of the Andrew Cunanan variety. You remember Andrew Cunanan?
Well, he killed
No
Versace.
idea. No.
Killed Versace after killing like 9. You don't even know that. You don't know that story?
What year was this?
That's a very good question. E, what year do you think this was? Mid-90s? When did Versace?
Yeah, I want to say late 90s.
That's the question to ask. Yeah. So, here.
He was going around like he killed people on boats.
Yeah, but like he just killed some dude who made purses or something.
When was Gianni Versace murdered? No, you rube. He killed like 9 people across the entire country, and they've been chasing him since.
Gianni Versace was assassinated on the 15th of July, 1997.
Yeah.
There we go.
Okay.
97.
So Andrew Cunanan was a gay dude who had wealthy.
Bro, why's he gotta be gay?
Because it was the part of his whole thing. That's very crucial to the story. So he was a gay dude who was like a gay gigolo, and he would hook up with these wealthy straight men who, weren't really straight men. You know what I'm saying? And he started murdering them one by one. He murdered somebody in San Diego. Then he moved up to Minneapolis, and he murdered he murdered a dude in Minneapolis, a doctor, and then an architect in Minneapolis.
He started working his way down the East Coast.
No. Hold on. Then he went to Chicago and he murdered Lee Miglin. Lee Miglin was one of the biggest architects in the city of Chicago, a famous guy. And Lee Miglin picked him up somewhere, and they went back to the Miglin mansion in Lincoln Park in Chicago, murdered him, became a huge story in Chicago. And that's when they connected it to the dead gay guys in Minnesota and the dead gay guys in San Diego. And then there was this massive nationwide manhunt. He went to Virginia. He killed somebody there. He was in North Carolina, and some hillbillies tried to capture him, and there was a shootout on the road with guns and all that kind of stuff. Got away, got all the way down to Miami, Florida, and decided, I'm going to kill somebody big because I got a lot of cool publicity for killing Lee Miglin in Chicago. Let me see if I could kill a real big name. And he staked out in front of Gianni Versace's mansion right there on Ocean Boulevard in Miami, and waited for Gianni to come out to get his newspaper and go to the corner store to get a coffee and a newspaper. That's what he did every day. Waited for him, and as Gianni walked down his little mansion steps and opened the gate, Andrew Cunanan was like, "Hi, you're Gianni Versace," and he's like, "I sure am." Bam, 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 and killed him, and then just ran into Miami. Now that caused a huge. It's Cunanan, because remember now, everybody knew before he killed Versace. He was the lead story on all the newscasts for 2 weeks. Where is Andrew Cunanan? Andrew Cunanan, the gay murderer, the gay serial killer. And then he kills Versace and he runs. And so they know he's in Miami. So they lock down Miami. And this all played out on TV, on CNN, all the way into the night. And he ran to a houseboat and he basically hid in this houseboat, and for hours the SWAT team surrounded it was all on live TV. That was a manhunt. That was one hell of a manhunt. So maybe we'll get that with Brian, and maybe we'll have the same ending because Cunanan ended up getting killed too. So I'm not opposed to a manhunt. I mean, I'm opposed to the pretty young dead girl. That ain't cool, but if we're going to get Brian Laundrie, if we're going to catch him, why not make it entertaining, right? Why not make it, why don't we make it so that we can at least have a couple more shows out of it?
Yeah, I hope they treat him like a coon dog on TV.
Well, we'll see it. Everything's recorded now. I mean, in 1997, it was all, dude, I can't believe you don't know Andrew Cunanan. That's one of my favorite true crime stories of all time. They made the Andrew Cunanan story was a mini series. There was a huge hit on TV a couple of years ago.
What do you think I was doing in 1997?
I don't know. What were you, like 5?
For a few months in 1997, I was homeless. Okay.
Really? How old were you in 97?
20, 19 and 20.
Yeah. You were homeless?
Yeah.
What happened? Sunglasses. You interested? I'm interested in pursuing this.
I mean, I feel bad for him if he was homeless.
Dude, 19 and 20-year-olds are homeless kind of often, you know?
That's kind of true. Yeah, that's normal, especially, but were you in a band or something? Because that would make it more, that would make sense.
No.
Because, you break up with a girlfriend, suddenly you're homeless.
I lost my academic scholarship to college, so I just moved to Dallas, and I didn't have a place to live at first, so I was just crashing on people's couches or maybe sleeping in my car.
And then 3 years later, you came into my life.
Yeah.
And all's well. All right, that's going to be today's show. We're going to come back tomorrow at noon. We'll be doing High Noon with me and Sunglasses. That's where we run through all the trending topics of the day. Hopefully we'll get to some more. Today we had big breaking news at the start of the show. There was a school shooting in Newport News, Virginia. And that took up a big chunk as that was developing live during our first half hour on the show. But that's what we do on the High Noon show. Noon to 2, right here. We talk about all the things that you and all the people that you're going to be running into might be talking about around the water cooler or whatever. Consider it your cheat sheet for the day. That's called High Noon. And then we come back here every Sunday through Thursday night at 10 o'clock p.m. time, Central Standard. And we do this, the Pillow Talk edition, which really at this point is let's talk about Gabby and Brian. That's
let's be honest. Tomorrow with the coroner's report.
We're going to get there's
I think we're going to spend probably the whole 2 hours on Gabby. Unless something major breaks. I mean, you tried to talk about a school shooting today, which we followed for probably about 15 minutes, 20 minutes. And then boom, we were off on the Petito. Got me doing it now.
Yeah. Natalie Petito. I can't stop. I see your pictures everywhere, and I just can't stop thinking what a beautiful young lady she was. I mean, a little hippy dippy for my taste, but man, she seems like she could have been any one of my friend's daughters. That gets so, God, what a world we live in. All right. Well, let's try and get a good night's sleep, and then we'll come back and we'll tackle the world again tomorrow. Thank you, James. There he goes. That's James Parker live in New Orleans. Thank you for being here. We'll get rid of James. Okay, Sunglasses. So good to see you again. We'll see you tomorrow at noon. There goes Sunglasses, and I am Pugs. This has been Pugs and Company. Pugs and Sunglasses and Parker. That's what we call it. Have a good one, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow at noon for High Noon right here on the Radio Misfits